Papaya. The papaya was first cultivated by the Maya and Aztec civilizations in Central America and southern Mexico, long before Europeans had any idea it existed. When Spanish explorers arrived, they were so struck by it that they carried it across the ocean, spreading it through Asia and Africa. Today it grows across Brazil, India, Indonesia, and the Philippines, and in tropical climates it produces fruit almost year-round. Cut one open and you get soft, vivid orange flesh that tastes like a cross between melon and mango, sweet, smooth, and unmistakably tropical. But here's what makes papaya genuinely unusual. It contains an enzyme called papain, a natural compound so powerful at breaking down proteins that it's used industrially to tenderize meat. You're essentially eating a biological digestive tool. In many parts of Latin America, unripe green papaya is eaten as a vegetable, shredded into salads or cooked in stews, making it one of the most versatile fruits on the planet. Dragon fruit. Dragon fruit grows on a cactus, not in a jungle, not on a tree, but on a sprawling tropical cactus native to Central America and Mexico. French traders introduced it to Asia in the 19th century, and Vietnam, Thailand, and Nicaragua now produce the bulk of the global supply. The best season runs from summer into early autumn. When you slice one open, you find white or deep magenta flesh dotted with tiny black seeds. Mild, gently sweet, somewhere between a kiwi and a pear. The flavor is subtler than the appearance suggests. What makes dragon fruit genuinely strange is its flower. It only blooms at night, opening in complete darkness to be pollinated exclusively by bats and moths. By morning, the flower is already closed. The fruit you buy at a market is the result of a single nocturnal bloom, pollinated in the dark. No other major commercial fruit works quite like that. Lychee. Lychee has been cultivated in southern China for more than 2,000 years, making it one of the oldest continuously farmed fruits in human history. It was considered so precious that it was reserved as a luxury fruit for Chinese emperors, transported long distances at great expense just to reach the royal court. Today it grows across China, India, Vietnam, Thailand, and South Africa, with peak season from May through July. Peel back the rough red skin, which is completely inedible, and you find translucent white flesh that's intensely juicy and fragrant. The flavor sits somewhere between sweet grapes and rosewater, delicate and floral in a way that almost no other fruit is. The skin itself has no culinary use at all. It exists purely to protect the fruit inside. Fresh lychee is a completely different experience from canned versions, which lose almost all of the floral fragrance that makes it special in the first place. Guava. Guava originated in Central and South America, where indigenous peoples had already been farming it for centuries before any European arrived. Spanish and Portuguese explorers spread it across the tropics, and it now grows widely across India, Mexico, Brazil, and Thailand, often year-round in warm climates. The flavor is layered and aromatic, sweet up front, with undertones of pear, strawberry, and peach, and a fragrance that fills a room when the fruit is ripe. But the most remarkable thing about guava isn't the taste, it's the nutrition. A single guava contains more vitamin C than a typical orange, sometimes several times more depending on the variety. The edible seeds inside the flesh are packed with fiber. For centuries, it was a staple crop precisely because it delivered so much nutritional value in such a simple package. It remains one of the most widely consumed tropical fruits in the world, eaten raw, juiced, dried, or cooked into jam and paste. Mangosteen. Mangosteen is called the Queen of Fruits, and that title has stuck for centuries across Southeast Asia. It originates from Malaysia and Indonesia, grows today mainly in Thailand, Indonesia, and Vietnam, and its season runs from May to September. From the outside, it looks almost architectural, a deep purple sphere with a thick, leathery rind and a small crown of dried petals at the base. Break through that rind and you find pure white segments of flesh arranged like a citrus fruit. The taste is the reason for the title, sweet, juicy, and complex, with simultaneous notes of peach, pineapple, and citrus, layered in a way that seems impossible for something so small. The thick purple rind isn't just decorative, it protects the fruit inside with remarkable effectiveness, keeping it intact during transport. For centuries, it was nearly impossible to get outside of Southeast Asia. That rarity was part of what made it legendary. Durian. Durian is banned in hotels, airports and public transit systems across Asia, not because it's dangerous, but because of its smell. The odor is powerful enough that carrying one onto a train is a punishable offense in Singapore. Native to Malaysia, Indonesia, and Borneo, durian has been eaten in Southeast Asia for hundreds of years and holds the title of king of fruits. The smell is often described as a combination of overripe onions, turpentine, and gym socks. The taste is something else entirely. The flesh is rich, creamy, deeply sweet, and almost custard-like, unlike anything else in the fruit world. People who love durian describe it as the most satisfying flavor they've ever experienced. The contradiction between the smell and the taste is real. You are forcing yourself through something deeply unpleasant to reach something extraordinary. That contrast is exactly why it became legendary, and why Southeast Asian countries export it to the rest of the world by the ton. Passion fruit. Passion fruit was named by Spanish missionaries, not because it tastes passionate, but because the flower's anatomy reminded them of the Passion of Christ, the crown of thorns, the nails, the wounds. The name stuck. The fruit itself originates from Brazil, Paraguay, and Argentina, where indigenous peoples cultivated it long before contact with Europeans. Today it grows in Brazil, Peru, Australia, and South Africa, with peak season in summer through early autumn. Cut one open and the inside looks almost alien. A cavity full of golden pulp surrounding dozens of crunchy seeds wrapped in translucent sacs. Those seeds are completely edible, eaten along with the pulp. The flavor hits hard, intensely aromatic, sweet and sour at once, tropical in a way that's difficult to place but impossible to forget. The crunchy seeds add texture to the tartness. It's one of the few fruits where the seeds aren't removed, they're the point. Fig. Figs are one of the first fruits humans ever deliberately cultivated. Archaeological evidence places fig farming at more than 5,000 years ago in the Middle East and Mediterranean region, making them older than written history in some civilizations. Ancient Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans all relied on them as a staple food. In many cultures, figs symbolized fertility and abundance. They were literally painted on temple walls. Today, the biggest producers are Turkey, Greece, Italy, and Spain, with harvest running from summer into early autumn. A ripe fig tastes deeply sweet, almost honey-like, with a soft, jammy texture and tiny, crunchy seeds throughout. Fresh figs are completely different from dried ones, more delicate, more floral, and far more perishable, which is exactly why dried figs were the form that traveled through ancient trade routes. The fig was one of the foods that sustained entire civilizations. It's still growing in the same regions today, essentially unchanged for 5 millennia. If you found this useful, drop a like and subscribe. There's a lot more food content like this on the way.